The world is mourning the loss of Cheers star George Wendt, who has passed away at the age of 76.
Yeah, for more, we're joined by entertainment editor Peter Ford. Pete, he played the beloved Norm on the hit show. We can picture him sort of resting up at the bar, can't we?
Yeah.
How's he being remembered this morning?
Hours on end, just sitting at his stool at the bar. I love Cheers. It was a beautifully written show, and those actors, each one of them had such good delivery, and they did it in front of a live audience, and it's still so well remembered. In fact, the finale episode was the second highest, most watched TV show ever, apart from the finale of MASH. But Norm was a bit of a shocker, really. He'd just sit there all day guzzling the beer, and the lines were so funny. Sometimes you could see them a mile off. The lines he used to do about his wife, Vera, were pretty terrible, but they made you laugh. But he'd make his entrance in every episode, and the same words were delivered. In fact, take a look at this.
Afternoon, everybody.
How you doing, Norm?
Coach, I'm on top of the world, which is a dismal spot in Greenland somewhere.
How's your new job coming, Norm?
Don't bring that up.
What?
I am no longer in the employ of Goldstein, Borman, and Kawakami.
What's
I discovered that so-called medical corporation was a polite term for den of thieves. They're in the business of cheating on taxes.
Oh, yeah, so you resigned in protest, huh?
Well, I took a long lunch and they canned me.
And it was 32 years ago today that the finale episode of Cheers went to air. So odd that. And, you know, thank you for making us laugh, George Wendt. And you said it correctly too, by the way, Larry. A lot of people think it's Wendt because we're also familiar with Yana, but it actually was Wendt.
Wendt, OK. Let's move on, Pete. Harvey Weinstein has given his first TV interview in 8 years.
Yeah, this is to Candace Owens, who's a very popular online commentator and investigator, and she has been somewhat sympathetic to the Weinstein story. She believes he's acted disgracefully on multiple occasions, but doesn't believe he should be in jail. So this interview was done from Rikers Island, where he's been since 2020. He actually looks pretty healthy, pretty good, to be honest. But in it, they talk about Gwyneth Paltrow, who, of course, is one of the many high-profile people who came out and made claims and allegations about his behaviour. And Gwyneth has recounted a story, she did it on Howard Stern, where Brad Pitt went to Weinstein and basically said, if you approach Gwyneth again, I will kill you. But that is not how Harvey Weinstein remembers that moment. This is his side of the story.
He leveraged his fame and power to protect me at a time when I didn't have fame or power yet.
Right. Wow. It moves you.
Yeah. He said, if you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you.
A complete fabrication, you know, about my relationship with Gwyneth. You know, I'm going to talk about it and just say that I had a meeting with her. At the end of the meeting, we had a glass of champagne. As I was walking out the door, I said to her, I'd love you to give me a massage. And she went, yeah. And, you know, that was it. I didn't put my hand on her. I didn't touch her. I definitely made a pass, I guess. You know, you could call it that. She did have Brad call me, and Brad, very manly, very cool, just said, don't do that again. And that was that.
So as the late Queen Elizabeth did say, recollections may vary.
Yes, OK. To some royal news now. Meghan Markle has opened up about motherhood.
Yes, we couldn't let a day go by, could we, without giving her a mention. No. So another episode of her podcast has dropped. And in this one, she talks about motherhood and what it's like and how surprising she's found it. Of course, she has a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. That's going to keep anyone pretty busy. But she says there's been a lot of surprises along the way. This is Meghan Markle.
Before I was a mom, I was like, oh, gosh, I'm going to give a speech with a baby on my hip. And then you fast forward, granted, I had a lot of external things happening by the time I had both pregnancies and both babies, but it was not the way I envisioned it. And
I reckon most people could relate to that one.
Yeah, she's very I love her so. What do you think? What do you think of that? Will you be going to listen to that podcast?
The podcast? Yeah, I'll give it a listen.
Let us know what you think when you have a listen to it.
Mattel has a new film in the works, Pete. What's that?
So this is a live-action movie of Whack-A-Mole, which has been a very popular game now for, I think, 5 decades. People thumping away there and trying to whack the moles. Well, of course, the template for this is Barbie. Mattel had such success with Barbie, and it, you know, although I think Barbie's in a different league again to Whack-A-Mole, but nonetheless, if they can get this movie up, make it popular, suddenly people are rushing out there again to buy the board game, and no doubt there'll be all sorts of other spin-offs and commercial endorsements as a result of it. So
Hey,
Mattel,
What's the storyline going to be?
I know. That is a question that we can't answer.
What do you think, Laz? What could it...
Well, I reckon it's about a mole that gets whacked.
Like a
It's gotta be a-
construction sort of story?
I know how it ends, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to ruin the movie.
Yeah,
But I reckon it's something to do with all the moles getting whacked.
Yeah, I think storyline's almost secondary to the concept and getting it out there.
And the merch.
The merch. Sell the merch.
Yeah, I know, but there's still got... Like Barbie I got because Barbie's always been a female empowerment thing, and there's been the whole narrative around her being an astronaut or a doctor or whatever.
But you don't think Whack-A-Mole has been empowering for moles everywhere?
I just whether it might be sort of like, you know, like development taking over a natural site or something, maybe?
If I was a psychic, Kylie, I would tell you, but I don't do it. They'll come up with something.
Tell you what, Dal, you stay at home and watch Bridgerton. Me and the boys are going to go out and see Whack-A-Mole.
That's great. Okay, thanks, Pete. We'll check in with you a bit later in the show.
Good on you.